Where did it all go wrong? We've got a new Jurassic World movie. It's not Jurassic Park. I mean, we've had 6 Jurassic movies so far, and the video today I want to talk about is where did the new trilogy go so far wrong from the original trilogy. A little bit of context for me. I've always, and I made videos on my channel about how much I like Jurassic Park 3, which before these Jurassic World movies got a lot of flack and still gets a lot of flack for a couple of scenes that are, should have been maybe cut or a few little missteps, but I really like Jurassic Park 3. But where did these movies go wrong? Because we have Jurassic World that, made a lot of money and bizarrely, because I really thought it was terrible as well, got quite a good reception from the audience as well. Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the second of the Jurassic World movies, did not get well received by fans and critics. And we've got now Jurassic World Dominion, which is the third of this trilogy. Depending on how well it does financially, there's talks that there could be more. Jurassic World Dominion is on 31% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's the lowest Jurassic Park movie so far. It's worse than Fallen Kingdom. For me, it's bizarre. I remember watching the first Jurassic World movie, and even at that point, and that's probably the best of the 3. I haven't seen the new one, so I'll preface this video by saying I haven't seen Dominion, but I haven't liked the other 2. But anyway, Jurassic World, I could see the writing on the wall even after that movie, because the first Jurassic World movie, you had a lot of none of the original cast, or barely none of the original cast in that one. You had people like Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, who, are capable and likable enough actors, but they really, maybe it was just a write, maybe it isn't really their fault, but they pale in comparison to people like Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum. But that movie, the characters weren't very good. I always look back at that scene where they arrive on the 2 kids arrive on the island, and we have the Jurassic Park music, that score playing, but it shows them running through a hotel and going through their hotel room, and the music's playing, and you may think to yourself, well, why is that such a big deal? But you have to look back at the first 3 movies, or definitely in 3 and 1 anyway, where they arrive on the island. You've got this really, you got that really awesome score, the Jurassic Park theme playing, and as you see the island and you see the dinosaurs, and so in Jurassic World, they had the kids running through the hotel and looking at how cool their hotel room was, and that's where they saw fit to show the music, or play that part of that iconic theme. Just little things like that, and then you've got a lot of green screen. You got a lot of fake locations. It's all kind of set extensions and not real locations. You have very minimal animatronics. You have action scenes that are way too much like something like Michael Bay, or maybe a Peter Jackson King Kong. Didn't fit in with the action scenes you would have seen in the first 3 movies. And this sort of stuff continued on with Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom was just a kind of a soulless mess. There was barely none. I'm pretty sure, I've only seen it the once. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Jurassic Park score, that original score, is nowhere to be heard in the actual movie itself. They've done a completely new score, and okay, you can do a new score if you want. Lost World had some new music elements, some new score segments in it, but that stuff was really good and it fit in. But in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, they completely ignore the original score, and it's just, you cannot remove that from the movie. You have to have that somewhere in key elements, much like a Rocky movie or a Lord of the Rings movie would have the iconic score. And then the lack of animatronics, the lack of real magic, it's just clear to be seen. And the new one, it looks like more the same. I mean, they brought back Sam Neill, they brought back Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern. But if the writing isn't up to it, if they're being thrown into a movie that really has no vision and has no real interesting place to go, it's a lost cause, really. We also have the subplot of the girl who gets cloned, and just stuff like this. I mean, it's just, even just to say that out loud, I mean, people will go, I mean, it's a movie franchise about bringing dinosaurs back to life, but there is a point when you just push beyond the realms of any belief, and like those first three movies had some far-fetched moments, but they never went into completely over the top sort of what I would class it as maybe Fast and Furious or Michael Bay type territory, where it's just all sense is lost. And then you've got the dinosaurs, you've got the raptor Blue and the T-Rex kind of working together and not kind of communicating and not really fighting each other. All this stuff is just, I mean, you look back at Jurassic Park 3, a movie that gets a lot of stick. I actually really like it. The big plot point of that movie was the raptors are really, really smart, and we see them hunting and having creating little traps and being intelligent. That was really, really cool. Now they've turned the some of the raptors into kind of like play up or sort of main character. They use one of them, Blue, as a main character who communicates with Chris Pratt, and maybe to an extent, if he's trained them and he knows them, there may be some sense to that. But the fact that it's just really kind of goofy, and I find that to be dopey, especially in the last two movies. And it's just bizarre, and you put this all together. Colin Trevorrow directing. Don't think he's delivered anything, in my opinion, that's been worth watching. And you just look at it and you go, where did it go wrong? How did it get so bad? And where does it go from here? I mean, I get a sense that this will probably make quite a bit of money. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I feel like people will come out and watch it. I think it's probably going to be the weakest box office, and that's probably for a lot of reasons. That maybe people still aren't coming out and watching movies as much as they would be. But then again, you've got Top Gun Maverick that is doing really well. To be honest, where did it go so wrong? I just think they got the wrong people writing it, the wrong people directing it. The stuff that worked, even in the sequels that people are a little bit sniffy about, the stuff that worked in those isn't really to be found in the new ones. And it just became a big juggernaut of a mess. The dinosaurs become secondary. The characters are given all the time, and the characters are so underwritten, so uninteresting compared to the original three movies. And we just have a franchise that is just bundling into the crapper, and we'll probably get more in the future. But if this really, really tanks financially, it could be quite a long time before we see one. And I think if they do bring it back, that they've got to reboot it. They've got to try and find some way back into it. And I don't really know what that is, because I feel like they've brought it so far out of the. I mean, people said they needed to do something different after Jurassic Park 3, but once you remove all restraints and you have Jurassic World, where they're just Dominion, where there's supposedly dinosaurs all over the place, you do lose any of the sort of the boundaries and maybe the limitations that keep the movie from turning into just a typical sort of kind of big CGI fest that doesn't have any rhyme or reason to it. And that was my worry. It sounds cool having dinosaurs all around the world and stuff, and that could work with the right director and the right writing, but I don't think that, based on the reaction of people seeing it and critics, not that I go on Rotten Tomatoes, but it just sounds like this franchise is just bundled into no man's land, and I don't know where it goes from here, to be honest with you. But I've called this from the first one. If you remember, if you've looked at my old videos, I haven't just jumped on this bandwagon of hating Jurassic World movies. I've hated all three first two anyway. Maybe the third one will prove me wrong. If it does, I will make a video on it, defending it. I doubt that's going to happen. But I did like Jurassic Park 3. I like Lost World. So those are movies that get a lot of flack. So if Dominion does somehow impress me, I will make a video after this and give my opinion and defend it, but I suspect it won't. What do you think about the Jurassic Park franchise, the Jurassic World movies? Where do you sit on it, and where does Jurassic Park, Jurassic World go from here? Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.